But it went really well. As I suspected, I have chronic urticaria, which is chronic hives. It's caused by an increase in histamines. So she's going to be using that when she has reactions. And it makes her nervous because sometimes she's having problems taking stuff because of all her GI symptoms. But hopefully her GI can help with that. Good morning, guys. I had a really hard time waking up this morning. I kept snoozing my alarm and I was so upset with it for going off so loudly. But I after snoozing it for about 30 minutes, Hannah was awesome and she came in my room and checked on me, made sure I was okay, and then she brought me coffee. And so I could just lay in bed and drink coffee while I woke up, and I really appreciated it. And then I chatted with friends on Snapchat and texting and everything to help me wake up, and it did. But I was really sore. My rotator cuff was acting up yesterday because my left rotator cuff, I had some small tearing in it earlier this year, and so it was acting up yesterday. And I laid down in a way that wouldn't hurt it, but in my sleep I rolled over to my side and laid directly on it, and so when I woke up it was really hurting, as was my hip. So I had a better while to watch TV, recuperated for yesterday. And then I ate and helped Hannah with food and got a pork loin out to thaw for dinner tonight. But after eating, I started bloating up and my stomach started doing really badly, and so I decided to rest a little bit so that could get better. I'm still really nauseous, but whatever. But I have stuff to do for Sarah to get her food and get my snack, and so after I eat my snack, I will update y'all on how yesterday's doctor appointments went, because there was progress in them. I wanted to update y'all on how the doctor appointments go. I was only actually in the appointment for me. I didn't hear what Mom happened with Hannah's and Callie's appointments. That way we don't mind each other being in each other's appointments, because we share all medical stuff with each other. But that way the doctor could focus on this patient and give him all the care he needed, which I respected. Anyways, my appointment went really well. I went last, and I was feeling really potsy because I needed to take my medicine, but the nurse was worried if I took my dysautonomia medicine, it could mess with something. She didn't want to make that call, so she asked me to wait for the doctor. But since Hannah and Kelly went first, it was a long time before I saw the doctor because he took a whole lot of time with them. And so I tried to sit up in the waiting room, but I was feeling terrible, so I went, even though I don't like the counter bed things you have in doctor rooms to sit on, the exam tables, that's what they're called, because I hate heights. But I was feeling so terrible that I went and laid down on that and just put YouTube on my phone, watched Chronically Jackie and the Fried Life, and rested. And thankfully when he got in, he said I could take my medicine, so right then and there we went and got me some water and I took my meds, so that was good. But it went really well. As I suspected, I have chronic urticaria, which is chronic hives. It's caused by an increase in histamines, and so he was really happy that I was already taking 2 Allegra a day, and he wants me to add in 2 Zantac a day, which many of you might not know is that histamines, there's histamines H1 through H4, and here I actually have a thing on my phone that I pulled up to make sure I had my information right. The 2 main ones that are treated with antihistamines are H1, and that's the main one, H1, and then H2. It's less commonly used to treat it. However, in cases such as chronic urticaria and counts more extreme mast cell activation syndrome, they use H1 blockers as well because there's so many histamines. This is from the University of Bristol. So it's a UK site. H1. These are one of the most important receptors for modulating your internal clock, and are a main target for many clinical drugs. When histamine reacts with the receptors in your brain, it alters your neurochemistry to make you more awake and alert. This is why antihistamines cause drowsiness, as they oppose the reaction of histamines with the H1 receptors. In other areas of your body, stimulation of these receptors causes hives, bronchoconstriction, constriction, motion sickness, which I've had for a long time and didn't know was a side effect of this, separation of the cell lining of blood vessels, that doesn't sound good, and smooth muscle relaxation, and consequently vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels, leading to redness of the skin. That just sets off the dysautonomia even more. Excess activation of these receptors triggers the symptoms of hay fever and other seasonal allergies. And then H2, these are found on parietal cells located in the stomach lining and are mainly responsible for regulating the levels of gastric acid. Histamine reactions at these receptors stimulates the release of gastric acid, excess of which can result in gastroenteritis. These receptors are also found on heart, uterus, and vascular smooth muscle cells. Histamine reacting with receptor at these places encourages smooth muscle relaxation. H2 receptors can finally be found on neutrophils, the most common type of white blood cell. Histamine can also inhibit antibody and cytokine production by reacting with these receptors. Then H3 are found throughout the nervous system, and H4, which were discovered in 2001, regulates the level of white blood cells. So H1 and H2 are the antihistamines you take to treat the various conditions. And I was taking Allegra twice a day, which is an H1 blocker. And he wants me to add in Zantac or Ranitidine twice a day for an H2 blocker. So I'm covering more of my bases and helping less reactions for him. And hopefully you will help with some symptoms too. So that was really good. And when I go back in 3 months, 5 days prior, I will stop taking my Allegra. Though he said if that causes me to get sick, I can go back on it. However, I will be able to stay on the Zantac. That won't interfere. But 5 days prior, I'll go off of the Allegra. And when I go in, we will do scratch testing. Scratch testing is too dangerous to do on Caroline. She would go into anaphylaxis. But however, for me, my condition's not severe enough since it's chronic urticaria, not mast cell, so I can have scratch testing. And the purpose of this, which I'm excited about, is that I react to kiwi and now bananas, avocados, and sugar snap peas. And he said at least he hasn't heard of it with the sugar snap peas. However, with kiwi, bananas, and avocados, it's really common, and it can be tied to my ragweed allergy. And so it might not actually be that I'm allergic to those foods, but it's pollen-like structure in the foods. I have to look it up. I can't remember the name of this condition. He mentioned it and I forgot, but I've seen it before and I can easily find it if I Google it. So I'll try to put it down here. Figure out the name. But it makes it so that way you react to those foods. However, it's less potent cooked. So say I might not be able to eat bananas raw, but I might be able to eat them cooked. So I'd be really happy because I could have banoffee pie and bananas faster. So I'm really hoping that's it. And I already know I have a terrible ragweed allergy. Already have, and it just continues to get worse. And so I'm looking forward to that and getting the results. And yeah, that's mainly it. However, he is also he treats not just allergy but also asthma. And so my asthma is pretty well under control. However, my previous PCP or primary care physician lied to me, giving me my asthma medicine, levobuterol, which I take because I can't take albuterol because of heart palpitations. She lied to me and told me levobuterol does not come in inhaler form, only in nebulizer form, which I thought was weird at the time, but I didn't have a reason to doubt her on that. And so I was talking to my allergist about it yesterday, and he said it is in inhaler form. She lied to me. I don't know why. And he was shocked about it, and he's like, yeah, it's rather important for you to have an emergency inhaler. And so he's getting me one of those, and he's also getting me another asthma inhaler to help control my asthma better, since I have had more problems with it this year. And so, but it's still pretty well controlled, because sometimes I can have a bunch of attacks in a week, sometimes I can go a couple months without attacks, so, but he wants that to help me, and I like the idea, because Caroline's on when it helps her, so, what's up with that, guys? Okay, better hurry. Then with Hannah, he doesn't think a lot of Hannah's stuff is actually allergy. He thinks it's, I might get some information wrong because it was really late and we were really tired. So I'll tell you the best of my recollection. If I need to, I'll correct myself in tomorrow's vlog or in text at the bottom of the screen. So he thinks a large part of Hannah's problem is multiple chemical sensitivity and intolerances, because a lot of the reactions she has to stuff, it's not an alert. She doesn't have allergy symptoms for, and so he wants her to see a GI for that. So she'll need to see the GI in Arkansas, and also she needs to see a neurologist. And he also wants her to look into multiple chemical sensitivity, and he's also getting her. He wants her to start Allegra. Now, last year Hannah tried Claritin, and it made her extremely sick for a really, really long time. But so she has side effects to a lot of medicines, and so he wasn't going to ask her to try anything, but she said she was willing to, and so he wants her to try Allegra, but he wants her to try a child's dose. So she's going to be trying that. He's getting, he looked at her scalp, and she thought she had a form of eczema on her scalp. I cannot remember the name of it. And he looked at it, and he was like, yeah, that's what it is. She didn't even bring it up, I don't think. But he said that, and Hannah was like, ha, I was right. And so he's writing her a prescription for a shampoo that can help with that. And I think he was writing her a prescription for one other thing, but I don't remember what. And so he spent a while with her because she has lots of symptoms and stuff that she has reactions, but no, by reactions, I don't mean allergic cure. I just mean stuff you have it and it affects you negatively. So whether it's multiple chemical sensitivity or intolerances. So hopefully we can get Hannah appointments with those doctors and get her on the new medicines, and that hopefully will go well. We'll see. Please be praying that and sending well wishes that she does well with Allegra and does not react like she did with Claritin, because that made her extremely sick, guys. And there was Caroline's appointment, which was really long. So a long time with Caroline. They had talked about infusions, but he does not like the idea of a port or a PICC line because you're one infection away from death. And he's really worried about her with that, especially because of her problems taking antibiotics and how prone she is to catching stuff. And as he said, he doesn't want her to die. That hit me hard. So yeah, I definitely agree with him on that. So, but what he is doing is she has Benadryl pills, and Claritin also really helps her. So the two main things that are helping her are Claritin and Benadryl. So he wants her to take more Claritin as a preventative, like at morning and night and everything, instead of Allegra. And he wants her to take Benadryl to help with reactions. And so she has Benadryl pills, but he's also going to write her a prescription for compounded Benadryl that does not have any dyes or flavorings, because you can find dye-free Benadryl, but you can't find any without flavorings. And so we need one for her without flavorings. So she's going to be using that when she has reactions. And it makes her nervous because sometimes she's having problems taking stuff because of all her GI symptoms. But hopefully her GI can help with that. And yeah. And I'm not sure what happened with Caroline's appointment. Sorry. We were all exhausted last night, and the drive was long. And I was getting like really overstimulated and claustrophobic and stressed because of those things, because I haven't been on a road trip for a long time. I really, really forgot that I get claustrophobic and overstimulated. It's okay if it's like me and one other person and there's like not stuff around me, but thing is, I had people in front of me, I had people behind me, and I had boxes of stuff, and people would need me handling things, and it was just like really, really hard for me, and it was a 4-hour drive. And so we got home and I just cuddled Hedgies and conked out. But I miss my babies. I'm so happy I'm with them again today. But now that I finished updating y'all, I'm tired. So I'm gonna go and stop talking, give my throat a break. Hey everyone, I'm not feeling too great at the moment. I'm kind of worn out and a little shaky because I had an asthma attack. Went out into the garage and someone was burning something and I don't know what it smelled like. Ma said it smelled like plastic. It didn't smell plasticky to me. I don't know. But it gave me an asthma attack and so I had to take breathing treatment and just haven't fully recovered from it. And so I'll be better in the morning, I'm sure, but for tonight I just have to rest. So I didn't get to clean the dinner dishes like I wanted. I'm frustrated by that, but I'm trying to tell myself it's okay, I did a lot today. Not as much as I wanted, but I still did a lot. And that dinner was really, really good. I made roasted pork loin, collard greens, and sweet potatoes with apples, which I also made a maple syrup, apple ginger syrup to go over the for Mama, Daddy, and Sarah, and for myself I just put some cinnamon truvia on them so it'd be sugar free. And then I also made Mama and Daddy cornbread they could eat, which was gluten and dairy free. And so that turned out really well. Everyone really enjoyed dinner. Well, everyone who could eat it, which was me, Daddy, Mom, and Sarah. But it was really good. And we have lots of leftovers, so that'll be awesome. But I'm exhausted. So I'm going to start wrapping up for the night and get some sleep. So thank y'all guys for watching, and good night. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.